NUM says the issue of change in working conditions was a deal breaker for them, and they are relieved that this has been addressed. Eskom is offering workers a 400 rand increase for housing allowance. The union says Eskom has refused to accede to their demand for a wage gap between black and white employees to be addressed, and a demand for a 10,000 rand once-off sweetener for every employee was also rejected by Eskom. The unions have also refuted claims that the workers are responsible for stage 6 load shedding.
Our members wanted to know if this demand of apartheid wage gap have been addressed by Eskom. They are worried because you do the same kind of a job with your colleague, but that colleague earns more money than you. And then that is causing serious anger. So the issue, we feel as the NUM that employers must start respecting and stop undermining workers if they want to address a lot of crises that are happening in this country, because employees or workers feel undermined by some of the decisions that are taken by Eskom. I mean, I'll give you an example of the narrative that was being conveyed to the public by Eskom of blaming workers that they are responsible for stage 6 of load shedding, but whereas workers are not, whereas the public is not being told the truth of some of the units that have been shut down.
NUM has slammed Public Enterprise Minister Pravin Gordhan for making what they call reckless statements, which they say was jeopardizing the wage negotiations.
Firstly, he made a statement that we had agreed with Eskom with the offer that was tabled, but that was not revealed to the public. We feel that that was reckless, and he kept on making reckless statements again yesterday while we were negotiating. He was saying that the wage negotiations were constructive. Early in the morning, when the wage negotiations were extremely tense, things started to go well around after lunch. When we came back from lunch, that is when negotiations started to go well.
Eskom major unions, NUM and NUMSA, will be meeting with Eskom management at the Central Bargaining Council on Tuesday to give feedback of whether or not their members have accepted the wage offer. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.